What's up, y'all? This is Metcat. How y'all doing? Jeremy, I love you. You're adorable. And this is Viewer Takeover. Hi.
This is PSVR Gamescast Live, where we film live every Tuesday. That's not a thing anymore, by the way. Just FYI, now it's going to be Thursday nights around 6 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a totally different format. If you didn't hear on yesterday's Gamescast, go back and check that out. We definitely detailed all the changes that are going to be happening. But Viewer Takeover, with any luck, should still be happening Wednesday at noon Eastern.
Yes.
It relies on so many things. So no promises, but we're going to do our absolute best to keep that up. I'm Brian Paul. This is Desra the Magician. And I've never actually called you that.
No, you haven't.
Because Desra the Great, Desra
Sounds weird.
the Strange,
yeah.
Desra the Magician.
Well, Desra the Strange applies to...
He's Desra the Fencer. He's Desra the Podcaster. And I'm Brian Paul, the Game Cat. Yeah, I got nothing. So basically what we do here on Viewer Takeover every week is dive into the videos, dive into the comments, and search for the hashtag Viewer Takeover to make sure you leave your question, your comment, your whatever in the comments somewhere with the hashtag Viewer Takeover, and maybe we'll talk about it on next week's Viewer Takeover. But first we want to thank Metcat.
Hi, Matt.
Hey, Matt. Thank you for that awesome animated intro. He sent me another one that we're not allowed to talk about on the air.
Ooh.
It's much more... we'll just move on from that.
Okay.
But Matt, we love you. Thank you so much for that introduction. If you want to introduce next week's Viewer Takeover, make sure you send your short, sweet, sexy, not too sexy, Viewer Takeover introduction to withoutparole@gmail.com. Boy, I'm so excited to share with you guys the next two, because we've got some creative game cats out there.
We do? Oh, cool.
They are so good. I can't wait to share them with you.
I haven't seen them yet.
Next week and the week after.
Awesome.
But Metcat's not the only person we want to thank this week, is he, Desra?
No, we want to thank these fine folks down here.
Down here, these are the people who went to patreon.com/withoutparole
games,
and they're giving us $1 or more every single month. It's not a lot of money for you, I promise you. $1, you'll never miss it every month, but it means a lot to us.
You'll even miss $50 a month, even less.
I don't think that's true.
Probably not.
But if you don't think you'll miss $50 a month, please send it our way. Patreon.com/withoutparole and we do give you a little bit back. We give you an episode of the Litter Box almost every week.
Mostly.
And if for some reason you missed last week's Litterbox episode,
you'll know why it's almost every week.
Yeah, but you can check it out because I did actually make it free. So if you want to know more about what Litterbox episodes are about, it's Des and I just talking about usually video games, but sometimes not. So you can go to patreon.com/withoutparole now, third or fourth time I've pimped that, and go check out that video for free if you want to see what that's all about. And then finally, we want to thank a bunch of other people this week.
Yeah.
That's a big setup.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of people who have decided to show their support, not only by doing a Patreon, although not all these people necessarily have, I guess. No. That's a weird lead-in. But to show their support in another way by changing their name to something the Game Cat.
On YouTube or on Google or something, so that when it pops up in the comments, it's something the Game Cat.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So basically you can comment on the next Vsauce episode and, somebody the Game Cat, and wow. That's pretty fantastic. Yeah. Viral marketing even.
Oh, yeah.
So this week we have, and we're getting caught up. And also, if you want us to find, if you go through the awesome effort of changing your name, make sure you give it hashtag GameCat. So
somewhere in the comments, somewhere under one of our videos. Don't do it during the live stream because those don't pop up when I search.
No, those go.
So under this video, under any other video, go hashtag GameCat. And so we can find you for next week's episode. I feel like there are people we actually missed this week because I feel like I remember seeing some. Yeah. But this is actually, we let a whole week of Viewer Takeover go by. So we're trying to do a little roundup here, a kitty roundup.
Yep. All right. So that being said, we have Shandy, the Game Cat extraordinaire.
AKA Metcat.
Yep. And Scott, the introverted Game Cat Merrill. I think we all are.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you're not a little bit introverted, you probably...
VR isn't quite your thing.
How did you find us?
I know.
Yeah.
And what is your secret? Angel Eyes, the Game Cat.
No, I mean you don't have to get crazy creative. Like
Yeah.
you can just be like, oh, my name was Angel Eyes, and now I'm Angel Eyes the Game Cat. Thank you so much for changing your name.
And then when someone asks, wait, why did you change your name to the Game Cat? You can say, well, let me tell you about Brian.
And Des.
Yeah.
And that girl Michelle, that somebody literally just sent me a message on Patreon saying, oh, when did Michelle leave? Yeah, exactly.
And Amanda.
Oh, and there goes his
AJ.
name. And there goes his name right down there.
Right. And Amanda and AJ and Jeremy. I feel like Romper Room.
Oh God, can we not? You're making this into a Jeremy King episode, and he's not even here.
And of course we have Mortimer
good.
Smith Jr. ate the Game Cat.
Mortimer Smith Jr. ate the Game Cat.
Oh.
You know what? He got creative.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but you did,
Please don't eat me.
and we appreciate you. You can eat me. I'm a Twinkie.
We have Baked Game Cat.
Which I feel like maybe this might be double dipping. I might have already given you a shout out.
Yeah.
I don't remember, so I just threw you in there anyway.
Well, now does Mortimer Smith ate the Baked Game Cat?
I think Baked Game Cat is baked because he's got the munchies.
Yeah,
And so he's filled with sweets already. And so if you are what you eat, then Mortimer Smith ate a whole pile of candy.
And of course now we have
Oh.
hashtag Game Cat Army Attack per.
Which was my
Yes.
favorite hotcakes alias ever. And then when I went to go collect all the pictures of everyone's who changed their name,
Yeah.
he had changed it back to hotcakes already. So
Oh, hotcakes.
bing, hotcakes.
All right.
All right, we got to dive into viewer takeover, man.
Yes.
It's going to be a kind of a short episode because we really wasted a lot of time during that intro. So make sure hashtag viewer takeover so we can find your comments. This is the biggest one of the week. This is the topic of the week. K Panic wrote on PSVR Games Cast Live yesterday.
Wait, did something happen?
Something totally happened. He writes hashtag viewer takeover because he knows what he's doing. Hashtag it's a VR thing and hashtag Gamescast Live takeover.
He really wanted to see this.
And we found it for sure. He writes PS5. Sony reveals backward compatibility for PS4 and PlayStation VR. Boom.
Unfortunately, it wasn't a question, so we'll have to move on.
Oh, we're not moving on because this is so basically I said this to Jeremy on yesterday's show.
Yeah.
Like Sony has a bad reputation for going, well, these are all the things we know we should do.
Yeah.
And going and doing something totally different. Like, it's just like, what are you doing right now? Right? And so we've been constantly saying for the last 2 years, been saying the best thing they can do for PlayStation 5 is to make it backward compatible and let you use your current PlayStation VR headset on PlayStation 5 so that you're bringing a library with you. You don't have to buy a new piece of hardware to continue with the VR trend on your new PlayStation console. And there's even though I said that this would be the best possible outcome, the best thing they could ever announce, I didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah, no, it was really surprising. Like the backward compatibility, it's something that all these developers or hardware developers have been dragging their heels on for generation after generation. And finally, that's how Xbox decided to set itself apart in the last generation. Like, no, we're going to make as much as we can backwards compatible.
The fact that Microsoft managed to make the Xbox One compatible with a lot of the OG Xbox games meant, like, they're trying to be the consumer friendly console. So I'm glad that Sony's like, okay, this is something that's important to consumers.
Yeah. Wait, you mean they don't want to buy their whole libraries all over again?
And I'm fine with it, but the great thing about backward compatibility is that not everyone owns the games from last gen or the gen before. Like seriously, I know they're not discussing anything prior to PlayStation 4 as far as backward compatibility go.
Yeah.
But man, how great would it be if there was 500 PlayStation 1 games available on the PlayStation Store, playable on your PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Or if you happen to be ridiculous like me, you can just go grab it off your shelf. Or you can spend $5 and go download it from the store. Like, this is a huge revenue stream that they've been ignoring for way too long.
Right. Well, there's this whole industry of like all these abandoned games that just don't have a format anymore, or and that it's just they're literally leaving money on the table. No one lives forever. I know we talked about that years and years ago. It's like this game I love that you just can't play anymore because poof. But yeah, so the only
Did that one come out on a console?
I think it was PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
I've got a box cover in my head for PlayStation 2, and I don't know if it's real or not.
I'm not sure if it did.
I don't know.
But anyways,
but you're right. Like a lot of games that use DOS or like very early Windows and stuff, like you need an emulator on your PC to mimic the old PC performance. It's ridiculous.
And we've got these boxes in our houses that are, more powerful than just any off-the-shelf computer, except for your crazy gaming computer. I know.
Yeah.
Just calm down.
They're not watching anyway.
Yeah,
they're just going to
true.
stop and to be like, you don't have the best version of Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Because you don't have modded sounds.
But yeah, the fact is, running an emulator, if that's what they're doing, maybe they're doing something other crazy.
No.
It's just something that should be possible. They should have been working on. So props to Sony for doing it.
Yeah, I think basically what they said is that the architecture is so similar to PlayStation 4 that they're able to do this. But when I say the similar architecture is similar, without getting into all the nuts and bolts and all the numbers and letters and stuff that they use that mean nothing to me, but I'm sure to a lot of people they mean a lot.
Yeah.
They're talking about the possibility of using a solid state drive to cut down the load times from something that would happen. They were comparing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
A scene in Spider-Man that would take 15 seconds to load, a fast travel part in Spider-Man, and then with this new solid state drive, 0.8 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's not like just like cutting the time in half or even in a quarter. It's like 1/15 more than that, 1/20th the time. It's craziness.
Anyone who's replaced, especially like on a laptop, replacing the good old fashioned hard drive with a solid state drive, it makes such a difference in performance.
Totally.
Yeah. Moving on, or I think we.
There wasn't. I guess there's not a whole lot to say about it, except that I just hope that this does what we hope it does, right? Like this means that they don't need a new PlayStation VR headset at launch.
I was gonna say that's the only thing that had me hesitating a little bit was they didn't say it'll be compatible with your old PSVR, but you can have we're gonna be launching with a new one anyway, so it doesn't matter, or just something like that.
I think they're smart enough to know that this sounds like an expensive console. This could easily be $500. This could easily be more than that.
Yeah.
And hopefully they learned their lesson from the $600 PlayStation 3. But the fact is that they're smart enough to know that consumers can't afford a $500 console plus a $400 headset on the same day. You got to space that stuff out. You got to give them a couple years to go, okay, I'm building that, that fund back up to buy the next big piece of hardware. So having by the time this thing comes out in over probably a year and a half away, how cheap are PlayStation VR headsets going to be? They're going to be like $150 and come packed with like 5 games. Like they're getting cheaper by the day, and so I think by the time that rolls around, there's going to be like 10 million people playing PlayStation VR on PS4, and with the promise that you're going to be able to take this headset and all your games with you, I think that is going to compound the population.
And maybe a performance increase, like the difference between the OG and the Pro.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. Maybe. Or some super sampling, some ability to kind of make things look better. Yeah. But the fact is that with the power that we've had this conversation 100 times, but I'm gonna have it one more time for you, just so we're all on the same page. When you play Job Simulator and all those edges and everything's super sharp because you're playing in kind of a cartoon world that doesn't require too much processing power, that shows you how sharp the PlayStation VR display can be. Yeah, you're like, okay, even though it's got these like 1080p screens like right in front of my eyes, they can look very, very sharp and very immersive. And then you go to like something more realistic. Right. And suddenly you're like, oh, everything, like the resolution on everything had to drop. And then suddenly you're like, ooh, somehow, how can we get the best of both worlds? Yeah. And the fact that PlayStation 5 is going to be so powerful, like every new console is so much more powerful than the last, I think that's going to be able to say, hey, this resolution over here, these textures over here, we're going to combine it all together. Yeah. And so I really think that out of the box, we might see a huge improvement on our current games for probably developers who want to support that function. But also PlayStation 5 VR games on your current headset are going to look amazing. Yeah. For just those reasons. Yeah. I talk too much.
That's right.
Somebody should just like put a piece of duct tape over my mouth.
That's what the people are here for.
Duct tape?
No. Well, I mean, some of them. But anyways.
Europe, Asia.
From Tristan the GameCat Davies on PSVR Gamecast Live. Hashtag viewer takeover. Pro move there. With Falcon Age being relatively cheap, but seeing your guys' disappointment with it, would you say it's worth it as a demonstration title to friends who haven't tried VR to show the level of interactivity VR can have? I'm thinking of the interactivity with the bird in short sessions. I'm not as disappointed in it. I think as maybe my co-host has been, but I do really like the game. I don't know if it's a good like intro because the controls are a little complex.
Tristan is saying just the bird specifically. If he gets him set up with the bird,
Yeah.
do you think by saying okay, now put the headset on somebody else?
I think that's cool. I think if you've I had the pleasure of actually doing the demo with like a version of the game that had like everything unlocked, all the costumes, all the stuff. So I guess to do all that, I think if you've done the work and unlocked all that stuff, then that's cool. You can get more than a minute or two of fun out of it. But I think it was just like, oh, I just started this game. All I have is the baby bird, and you can point it and make it fly. You get some interaction, but I think to really get that cool sense of like, oh, all the neat things you can do with it, you'll need to have a lot of the costumes and props kind of unlocked.
Yeah, I think a lot of the interactions with the bird. Obviously, I think the bird is the selling point.
Yeah, no, I don't want to sound like I was saying this is a bad thing. It's fantastic and beautiful and wonderful.
Yeah, in fact, like I've been writing and rewriting and replaying like for review.
Yeah.
Rethinking and trying to decide like how I feel about the game because the game came to me at a tough point in my life.
Right.
And so I didn't trust my initial instincts. I said a few things I'm still not totally sure if I believe or not, but I'm replaying it now to see like how I feel about it. I'm rewriting the review to reflect, I think a fair perspective. And I think ultimately, the gameplay is just for the game. And I know we're going off topic here a little bit. The game is just okay. I think it's good, but man, I don't think it was necessary. Like I don't think could I live without this game and really not miss it?
Yeah.
Yeah, except for that damn bird. And I'm in love with the bird, right? So if you're gonna like spend the time and get like emotionally involved in the whole bird thing, like $20 isn't a lot of money, and like this is a 3-4 hour experience that like really sets up, I think, for an amazing sequel. But if it was $60, I'd be ragingly irritated.
Yeah.
But for $20, I think it's fun for what it is. And the bird element, to address your question, is the best part of the game. And if you're interested in like showing your friends like how to interact with it and that you can pet it and like how cute it is when you move your arm around and only the head stays there but the body moves, like love it. Love it. But you're probably not going to get $20 worth of friend time out of it.
Right.
You're probably get your money's worth out of it if you buy it for yourself and play the game and then show that off to your friends. But like you could ask me, Brian, what do you think the top 20 games to show off to your friends are?
Yeah.
Who never played VR or never played video games before? Falcon Age definitely isn't on it. Right? It's just not that kind of game.
Yeah, I think there are other experiences that be more compelling for first timers. There's probably an episode or a list in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
get Super Hot out, man. Like that's done.
Yep.
Hours of fun for everybody.
I mean, Beat Saber is the obvious one now.
Yeah, really obvious. Yep. And then finally, we get again. Sorry, short viewer takeover this week. We're on a very busy schedule.
Is it?
I don't know. It's by the time we're done answering this, we're gonna be like, man, that was a long viewer takeover. Hudson asks in viewer takeover. He writes #viewer takeover because he knows what's up. Right? I just love the word.
Is he the monocle?
Yeah. Is he Mr. Peanut?
Yeah.
Does Mr. Peanut have a monocle?
He does.
He does.
Yep.
I didn't know if that was one of those Mandela effect things.
Nope.
Okay. Whilst I absolutely love my PSVR and will continue to do so, I've placed an order for an Oculus Rift. Here's the kicker, though. I wouldn't have bought it if Sony had allowed unlicensed games and developers to promote their games on the PlayStation VR store. The number of experiences, games, and demos currently available on the PC VR scene are overwhelming. It's one of the main reasons I ordered the Rift, along with the prospect of playing full-fledged flight sims in VR in games like Elite Dangerous and Lone Echo. What are your thoughts on this? Would you like to see more variety, games, demos, and experience available for PSVR, both the good and the bad? Good question.
So, yeah, good question. I think I need to invoke Sturgeon's Law again. Sturgeon's Law is science fiction writer. He came up with a law that basically says 90% of everything is crap.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen this channel?
Yeah, right?
Seriously.
But I mean, the point is like, yeah, like on one hand, I totally agree with you. It's like, yeah, like having it totally unrestricted, anyone can make anything, isn't this awesome, is good. But also, anyone can make anything and anyone can have any kind of hardware, and finding that anything that they made that works with the hardware that you have, it does increase the potential for crap.
Yeah.
Now, that's not saying that everything that goes through the Sony certification process is guaranteed gold, but it's at least guaranteed to work-ish.
Yeah, there are exceptions. Obviously, I think VR Apocalypse, I haven't checked it out with all the updates, pretty terrible at launch, though. The Martian experience was terrible. I think the Boxing Apocalypse is absolute garbage. Even some of the developers came out in the comments and were like, don't buy this.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, because the person in charge of releasing it basically screwed everyone over on the development team. It's a long story. The comment's in there somewhere. And then I think the other one that really bothered me recently was Tale of a Fragmented Star, or Tale of the Fragmented Star, which
That's right.
which wasn't a broken game even remotely.
Yeah.
It was just terrible.
Yeah.
Right? And which, strangely enough, I checked out the PC reviews, and there's a lot of positive reviews on that. People like, there should be more of this. And I was like, that's why you go buy a PC VR headset, because you want more of that.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't want to throw PC VR under the bus entirely, though,
or at all.
Yeah,
or at all. We make jokes all the time,
right?
But we are firm believers in VR as the future of gaming, and the last thing we're ever going to want to do is draw a line in the sand between us and PC VR. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think for me, part of it, and this is going to sound like, which is a very weird place for me to be in, like me being a Sony fanboy or something like that, and which is not true at all, because the only Sony device I have in my house is my PlayStation 4. I have 3 generations of Xbox in this, all plugged in and working in the same home. So take that as you will. But my point being, like, one of the reasons I made the switch from PC gaming to console gaming was I don't have to think about, do I have the updated drivers? How do I have to change the graphics settings to play this game and all that? I can just know, regardless of the actual quality of the game itself, know that when I put it in, I will be able to play that game
the way it was meant to be played.
Well,
for the most part.
Yeah.
For the most part. Like, the graphical settings are optimized for the console you're using.
Yes.
Everything's working. You don't have to go fix a bunch of stuff. Right. It makes a lot of sense.
And you're absolutely totally right. The fact that PC VR is open to everybody, that, yeah, you can have some guy in his apartment who just cranked out this game, like in a 6-week bender of nonstop coding and made this insane concept that no one else has ever thought of. That game can exist and be out there. Right. But there can also be 10,000 pool sims. I'm
going to make this about as easy as I can to answer your question. I'm going to say I wouldn't be opposed to it if it happened. I think that the curation on the PlayStation Store is already terrible.
Yeah.
And I think that would make our job even 10 times more difficult. Trying to like kind of sift through and see and try to find things. We would no longer review the bad games. We would only review the good games. Say, these are the ones you should play. And basically, if we don't review it, you should probably just stay away from it.
Yeah.
So it would make our life more difficult, also more fun to write reviews. But on top of it all, I'm a guy that is firmly entrenched in the PlayStation VR ecosystem. I played everything that's come out, with brief exceptions that I will probably get to eventually. Still haven't played Quiver, even though I've had a key. So
you know what? Amanda has played it. I haven't played it yet.
She's the only one.
You haven't played it yet?
Oh, AJ
did the review.
I forgot that.
But,
I didn't forget about you.
I just find that hilarious. Like Amanda, the non-gamer, who's
is it a should we?
I don't know yet. She was playing while I was at work today, so I haven't actually gotten back to her.
Amanda, comment below. What are your opinions on Quiver? Do you agree with AJ or do you agree with Rhodey?
Yeah.
Rhodey said it was kind of repetitive, I think.
I think she played with Rhodey, actually. Or no, it was Mike. It doesn't matter. That's now that you know that.
Cats are awesome.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm so entrenched in the PlayStation VR because I played everything. I don't know how many people out there are like me.
Yeah.
I think very few. I think most people, they list off the games of VR games they have. You always see the people listing all their collections on Twitter or on Facebook or on Reddit or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have these 10 games. I have these 20 games. I have these 30 games. I have these 40 games. I have these 50 games. And usually when you get to 50 games, you're like, oh, that's a lot of big PlayStation VR games.
Yeah.
I've played over 250 games. And I got to tell you that, I mean, unless you've been really, really adamant about playing every single new game that's come out every single week, I don't know quite as many people that have played all the games I have.
Yeah.
You've missed something. You've missed a lot of games.
Yeah.
Like if you're just playing the stuff that came out recently, there are so many good games that came out near launch that you totally missed. Like it always baffles me a little bit to see somebody like Hudson, who's been around forever, so maybe he's just like me and played everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's because I need more. I'm like,
Right, yes.
like, wow, dude. Whenever we do a top 20 list, we start with like 75 games and just start going.
so hard.
Do we have
Yeah.
to cross this one off?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like heart wrenching from the beginning. Like, how do you cross off something you love so much? So my answer is that there's a lot of stuff you probably haven't seen on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah.
On top of that, there's a lot of stuff you're never going to see on the PC Store. For me, it's not necessary. I don't need to branch out and start playing PC games. I don't think we need to open up the PlayStation market to start bringing more games over. It seems like developers who want to bring their game to PlayStation VR, multiverse aside, are doing a really good job of it.
Yeah.
And there are avenues. Sony seems to be helping all the little guys. So like, I don't think it's that difficult. Their Sony certification process is there not to ensure quality of the game, but to make sure we're not all getting motion sick every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
To make sure the frame rate is up to speed. It's not because they're dicks. I don't think. I don't know. We don't talk. but they're watching out for us.
Yeah.
So my answer is, yeah, I'm good either way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't interpret this at all for us to say like, no, you shouldn't have bought a Rift. What are you? No,
I'm happy for
absolutely.
you.
Yeah.
I'm jealous that you had the time to play
Yeah,
it.
I think it's great. I think if you got the time and the resources, knock yourself out. And I think for me, the choice was easy. Was easy to make for me. But you know what? Let us know how the experiment works out.
Yeah, for sure.
Was it worth it getting exposure to these other games? I know my son would give his left arm to be able to play Minecraft in VR. So
How does Minecraft work with one?
I don't know. This is a figure of speech.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Viewer Takeover. Make sure you change your name to GameCat and give us a hashtag GameCat in the comments. Make sure you change your name to Viewer Takeover. That's not what I meant to say, but that's what I'm going to say.
That would be awesome. We're just going to have like 15 Viewer Takeover the GameCat.
and send your Viewer Takeover to us by putting hashtag Viewer Takeover in the comments. Also, send your Viewer Takeover introductions to us. Sorry, we're getting a little backed up on them, but that's a good thing because sometimes we run out of them, and that's a bad thing. To withoutparole@gmail.com, and of course, make sure you hit us up on patreon.com/withoutparole
Games
for $1 or more every single month. We appreciate every single penny you send us. It means I get to eat pizza sometimes instead of noodles. Although I do love ramen noodles quite a bit.
How about ramen noodles on pizza?
Wasn't that Parappa the Rapper too?
Maybe. I just goes,
As always, I'm Brian Paul, and that's Desiree, and we'll see you. I don't know when this is going up. Soon. We love you all.
Bye. Kind of cool.
I was like, holy crap.